Today on the Social Investing Network, Elon Musk tells employees get back into the office or you're gone. What's behind this ultimatum? We'll break that down, plus what the future holds for an in-office and work-from-home workforce. Plus, Sheryl Sandberg is leaving Meta. The architect behind Facebook ads platform and Meta COO is leaving the company after 14 years. Is this shakeup Meta needs, or is this a void too big to fill? And we'll hear all the wild stories of expensive NFTs for sale, but can you really tell how expensive they are just from looking at them? Zayd and I try to break it down in our new game called What's the Floor? It's Tuesday, June 2nd. Subscribe below, hit the notification bell. Now let's get into it. Hey everyone, for our first headline of the day, Elon Musk is demanding Tesla employees stop remote work or be fired. So 2 emails from Elon to his staff leaked, and Elon said all employees must be in the office a minimum of 40 hours a week or leave Tesla. In these emails, Musk also stated that the office time must be at a main Tesla office and not an offshoot location. And if you don't show up, it'll be assumed you've resigned. He also took a dig at other companies that don't have this in-office stipulation, saying they haven't really shipped any cool products in a while. So while these leaked emails were on Twitter, we were speculating if they were just reports, if they were true. But he replied in a tweet to a user asking him, saying they should pretend to work somewhere else, pretty much insinuating that people should leave because they're not working or being productive if they're not in office. Saying we talked a little bit about this in pre-production. I think that this is something that people are polarized about this. You're seeing what Elon's saying. What do you think of what Elon and Tesla's direction seem to be on this topic?
Before we get to the whole big picture of like what is the future of work from home, let's talk about what Elon is doing right here. I had a hot take, and I think a lot of people have this take now, that Elon is just doing this as a way for him to cut headcount at Tesla. We've heard about a lot of layoffs at a lot of tech companies, especially startups. You're hearing layoffs. He's doing this in a way to cut headcount and not have like the negative headline associated with having layoffs. You know, there are probably going to be some people that are working at Tesla that are going to look for a different job because they don't want to go back to the office. And this way, Tesla doesn't have to even pay severance or anything like that. So it's smart. And I'm sure Elon also believes in higher productivity of people that are working at the office. I mean, these people are building cars, right? It's a little bit different than just pushing code. So I'm sure there are some productivity gains, but I think maybe his ultimate motive is to just get some people out the door and not have to have the headline of Tesla lays off people.
Yeah, you're agreeing. A lot of people have that take. That is a very sound and smart take. And I also think, if we think about in the short term, I think the employees still have some sort of leverage here, even though that's changing a little bit over time. And so in the near term, you could be losing out on a lot of talent. You just mentioned he's pretty much gave the ultimatum. Maybe he wants to lose headcount, but does he want to lose strong, productive talent? That's going to be the big question, because other tech companies are taking the other side on this.
I mean, yeah, and we still don't know how much talent he's actually going to lose, right? The market isn't as it's not favorable to employees as it was like 6 months ago or even 3 months ago. So I don't know how much people he's actually going to lose. Again, some people will probably drop off, but the people that have been there for 5+ years that have been there before remote work actually started, are they actually going to leave? So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And I also think that more companies are going to start to do this. I think other tech companies are probably going to also enforce a come back to work policy in order for them to reduce headcount, because naturally some people are just going to quit instead of go back to the office. Which brings me to the conversation of, what do you think, Delano, is the future of work from home? Do you think that more companies are going to do this? Are more people going to switch to a hybrid model? What do you see happening as you see like companies like Tesla incorporate a strict come back to office policy?
Yeah, I definitely think we're moving towards a more hybrid model. If you look at surveys, that's what employees are saying they want most. Some don't want to be in the office the whole time. If you look at this chart here, we're seeing, a lot of people are saying, the surveys are pretty much saying hybrid model is where we're going. And I think that fits best because it satisfies both people. It's a compromise, right? Because I mean, if I was working, from home in a corporate job or whatever, I wouldn't be on the type of being non-productive. I'll be the type of being too productive. I had like 3 different full-time jobs and try to make as much money as possible, because that's, what you're dealing with here, because you're not in that glass bowl where you're not having people kind of scrutinize everything. So I definitely think we're moving towards hybrid. It seemed to be the best compromise for both sides, but it'd be interesting to see which sides that all these big tech companies are going to take.
Exactly. And I also think it depends on what industry you work in, right? Like I think companies wouldn't force their employees to go back to the office if it actually didn't increase productivity. Because by having more employees in the office, you're likely dealing with higher cost of more office space. That's more rent. There's just more cost to the companies to have people come back to the office. So they're going to be doing it if it actually increases productivity. So it depends on industry as well. Just having my background in civil engineering, I see a noticeable increase in productivity when I'm back in the office or when I was doing that full time. So I just think it depends on the industry, and it depends on the stage you are in your career. I think it's a lot easier to work from home if you've been doing if you're like a 5 or 10 year vet in your career. Whereas if you're just starting off, I think it is beneficial to be in the office, being around other people to ask questions and things like that. So there's a lot of factors that go into this. But I do think that we're going to see more people go to hybrid model as well. I just don't think it's going to be just a fully remote world that maybe some people had predicted just 18 months ago.
Yeah, 100%. I was one of those people predicting that we'd be way more on the fully remote world, because you're right. I do think you're seeing a lot of big tech companies also invest in real estate. So that seems to say that they're not fully aboard, just remote work, because they realize that, as you mentioned, especially at these higher level, jobs or any different industries, you need to have people collaborating. It's more efficient, more productive that way. So, Zaid, what do we got for headline number 2 today?
We have, speaking of big tech company, Sheryl Sandberg has announced that she's leaving Meta. Sheryl Sandberg has been working at Meta for 14 years. She joined in 2008. And she's she was a second ranked executive after Zuck himself. So where does Meta go after this shakeup? I mean, Sheryl Sandberg was famously known to build Facebook's ad platform, which is the main revenue source for them. She's leaving. What do you think is the reason for that? I mean, I was just thinking that maybe she's just not on board with this whole pivot to the metaverse. But what do you think? Like, where do you think Facebook goes from here? Why do you think that Sheryl is leaving? Is the best days of Facebook / Meta behind them?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, but I do think that it's not that she's not behind it. I think a lot of higher level management and employees in Meta are going to realize, are they passionate about this new shift? It's a total different direction they are going, and it's very clear that they are going that way. You're seeing management being shuffled around. I think this is not necessarily a bad omen for Facebook, because if you're making a huge shift in your business, you need management, you need talent that's passionate about what you're doing. And maybe some people, Sheryl's had an incredible career, and she can go and do any philanthropy, anything that she wants to do pretty much, but maybe she's not passionate about this new shift because it's going to be a heavy lift for Facebook. You're going to probably watch the next few months. I think we're going to see talent and management being scooped up by Zuckerberg that aligns with the direction they're going. And I think that's probably the next step for Facebook, and seeing if that management can do and shake things up as they head into this new direction.
Yeah, I think you've convinced me here, because when I first heard the headline yesterday, I was like, this is just horrible news. Facebook is losing senior leadership here. Sheryl's been there since 2008, one of the oldest employees there. This is bad. But I think you're right. Maybe she's just not passionate about the pivot to whatever pivot that Zuck is trying to do. I mean, she's in her 50s now. She's had an incredible career. She's still going to be on the board, so she'll still have some influence. And this could be an opportunity for someone younger, some new ideas to come in and kind of lead Meta to whatever they're trying to go to next. So I'm starting to become a little bit more optimistic compared to what I was when I first heard the news. And like you said, Sheryl Sandberg, I mean, she's had an incredible career even outside of Facebook. She had that Lean In book. She's one of the most powerful women in Silicon Valley. She's going to do more philanthropy now. So I'm excited to see what she does next. And you're right. Maybe this is like the kickstart that Meta needs to kind of take it into the next level. And we shouldn't be too super panicked. I mean, their stock was up today, so I guess we shouldn't be super worried about it then.
Yeah,
the market needs to be super worried about it.
100%. I think we're skeptical, but it's the optimism that also, if you're someone that's been behind Facebook or working in Facebook, because you really want to give it time. It's hard to identify great talent, and then obviously I think Mark Zuckerberg and the whole team, the management team, they're looking to identify that talent, but you will give them credit because they've done a lot of that. Their futuristic vision when it comes to acquiring companies and pretty much acquiring different talent has been pretty good track record so far. So maybe as they make this shift, they're trying to start to do that. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
there's probably going to be additional shifts that are going to happen. Maybe not as like, a headline grabbing as Sheryl Sandberg. There's probably, I've been hearing that they're doing shifts, organizational shifts within their AI department and things like that. So they're probably still going to be shaking things up. So I guess we'll see. The thought that I had in my mind was like, what would happen if like we got a headline that Zuck was stepping down? Like that would be something crazy like that. Then we'd see some crazy movements in the stock price and things like that. But that's not what's happening. Zuck is still there, and hopefully he'll be there for a long time.
Zuck is still there, and that would be scary for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But let's move on. So, Zaid, how unique are NFTs? How are unique NFTs valued? Some are valued based on their level of artistic merit. Others are valued based on their utility or extra perks they may provide you. So let's see if the valuation of NFTs can match what they're selling for in our new segment and new game where we guess the floor. So here's how it works. Each of us describes an NFT project, and we choose a wide variety of projects, some great artwork, others with cool utility. And we guess what the floor price is for these, which are posted on OpenSea, or based on what we think the value is in the utility or coolness of the project. If the price is right, or whoever is closest, you win. And we can't go over, of course, the price. And the winner will get bragging rights. So we'll do this game. We'll see how it works. And our first NFT, Artifact Space Strip times Nike Air Force One. So the Space Strip features the one and only Artifact and Nike brands coming together to bring unique sneaker NFT designs for you to show off in the metaverse and to your friends. With 19 interesting designs from the world famous artists, the Space Strip gives artists a place to express themselves via shoes, from flowers to the feeling of liquid all over your shoes to even plain white. Yes, we said plain white, which makes our producers think someone's totally didn't do their homework and still got an A on the assignment. So yes, plain white is an option. Look at that beautiful option right there. So Zaid, what do you think the floor price is for this NFT?
Before I guess the floor price, so you say it's Price is Right rules, so we can't go over. Now, do we know if the actual shoes come with that NFT, or is it just like the 3D avatar? I think it just looks like it's a 3D avatar.
Yeah, I think it's just a 3D avatar for this.
Okay.
In the metaverse, yep.
Man, it's Nike, so man, I gotta say it's gotta be at least, I'm gonna say at least 2 ETH as the floor. Okay. I'm gonna say 2 ETH.
Around 4, right, like 4K. Okay, I'm gonna say, so 4K, okay. Yeah, I would go a little bit lower. I'm gonna go a little lower. And I'm gonna say 1.5. I'm gonna say 1.5.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what it is.
Gamesmanship there.
Yeah, I know you're 4.7.
4.7 ETH for the Artifact times Nike.
Oh my God, we were. I mean, we were both off, dude. Like, oh my God.
We were both off. It was a lot higher than I expected. Okay.
Yeah. Moving on to the second one. This one's a very interesting one. I'm gonna do my best to pronounce this. Giallozafferano.
Pretty good.
That is an Italian NFT. I'm gonna say it one more time. Giallozafferano.
Nice.
I think that producers are messing with me in this one. It's a food media brand in Italy who are minting an NFT collection that features 15 original recipes for some of the world's most beloved Italian dishes, as prepared in an Italian kitchen by some of the most successful Italian chefs from all around the world. And aside from the possibility of having the recipe to the most delicious lasagna, the good thing is some of the proceeds will actually be going to the Banco food bank to help end hunger for those in need. So there's a philanthropy element to it, but it's an NFT with Italian recipes. So Delano, what do you think is the floor for this project?
I think the floor is gonna be like half an ETH, like half an ETH is what my guess be. Okay. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be lower than that. I'm gonna say like 0.1 ETH.
Yeah, you might have gotten beyond that. Let's see. Done a little more gamesmanship. Let's see what we got.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so it's 0.05. So yeah, it's like. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like,
it makes sense.
It's an interesting utility. Some of it's going to philanthropy, and you get a recipe that you own. That's pretty interesting.
Good cause. It is interesting. Yeah, fair enough. I should have went a lot lower on that one. So I'll do it on the next one. So VeeFriends, have you ever wondered what would happen if Gary Vee told his 5-year-old nephew to make an NFT collection? Well, wonder no more. VeeFriends is a collection of animals that appears to be drawn by a child and colored by
I think
an adult.
Gary drew all these, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Or possibly even more talented child. What do we make of these? According to the website, it's for meaningful intellectual property and an extraordinary community. So you get 3 years of access to VCon, a conference which was just in Minneapolis, their past most recent one, which the website says is a focus on business, marketing, ideas, creativity, entrepreneurship, innovation, and competition, and of course, fun. It's an interesting one. I'm actually kind of not sure, but Zaid, what do you think is the floor for this one?
So I've been hearing about VeeFriends for quite a while now, over a year now. I remember when they launched. Gary Vee is a huge personality, has millions of followers. He's been big in the NFTs. I'm kind of thinking out loud here. So let's see. And it has utility, so you can get access to a conference. Yeah. I think that the floor price for this one is probably pretty high. I would say, I'm going to say 20 ETH.
Oh, wow.
20 ETH.
Okay. Interesting. I was going a lot lower, so now you're making me rethink my strategy here. 20 ETH. I've heard of VeeFriends, of course. I haven't looked at the floor, but I'm going to say a lot lower. I just don't. I like the utility's there, but there's just, the conference can be more if you would go on your own. It couldn't be that much. So I'm going to go a lot lower and say 2. No, okay. I want to do the games here. I'm going to go 3 since you went 20. There's still a lot of gap. I'm going to go 3 ETH.
Okay.
3 ETH.
Let's see what it is. 7. Okay, so I was over. I should have guessed 5. Okay. That's still a lot though. I mean, think about it. Like, you're still spending like 15 grand just to get access to this. I mean, I guess you get access to the conference, but like that's still a lot of money. I wonder what the highest the floor price for that one would be. I'm sure it's been pretty high. All right, this is an interesting one. Hangry Hippo. It's an NFT collection of 3D NFT hippos. Here's an image of that. They're for sale right now. But its utility, we don't really know yet. It's kind of a mystery. It does have a name though. The utility is going to be called Hangry Tools. Okay. So it's supposed to be coming soon. We don't know what the utility is. It's going to be it's a collection of 5,555 various hippos looking for with various accessories, hats, headphones, things like that. Let's see. There isn't okay. Let's see. So there's also a charity element to it as well. 10% of the royalties will be going to Charity Water. It's an organization bringing clean, locally sourced drinking water to developing countries. So it's a great philanthropy as well. Yeah. So what do you think, man? What do you think is the floor price for this project?
So 2 things you mentioned that stick out. No utility yet, which usually isn't a big deal because sometimes you can have a great community and still have a high floor price. It's weird though when you have that philanthropic aspect to it. I think people like. I think sometimes that like lower, like people aren't as exuberant it should be, but that loses some of that like cachet. I feel like in sometimes. So I'm gonna go. Enough of my explanation. I'm gonna go 1 ETH. I think that it can be can't be higher than 1 ETH.
That's a good guess. I was gonna guess something similar. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm gonna say 0.5 ETH.
Ah, there.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see what we got.
What we got. Okay. So we were both high. None of us get that one.
0.03, that's fair. Interesting one. We'll see where that one goes.
I think if it had the utility in place, it probably would have been a little bit higher.
Exactly. They're really cool looking. The graphics are really cool. I like the look of them. I agree. We'll see if they add some utility later. Our last one. So Admit One, our final NFT is the Admit One project. Each one of these NFTs are designed to look like an old school ticket used to enter a middle school dance in 1997. In fact, the design may be too strong a word here. They straight up look like someone took a picture of those tickets and decided to sell them. But why? Their goal is to build a community where they will do dope things with dope people, apparently. So that's the utility, do dope things with dope people. They didn't spend too much time on the graphic design there, but what are we thinking for this one, Zaid?
If it was like a cool graphic design or something like that, I could get behind. I could justify some sort of like a higher value. But like for that, man, I hope I'm not wrong here. I'm gonna guess like 0.01 ETH. Like I might be even high there, but I'm gonna say 0.01.
Yeah, I was gonna literally go right there with you and go 0.02 ETH. That's where we're at. What do we got?
Let's see what we got. What?
Wait. Is that thing?
This is a typo. What?
How many of them are there? 16, is that saying?
16 ETH for that?
That is.
What are we missing here, man? Do we get access to some sort of like exclusive club or something? Like
No.
20, what?
That is incredible. What? That's shocking to say the least.
I don't understand this anymore. Like I'm never gonna like. I thought the hippo thing was like cooler than this.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
This is being sold for $30,000. Do we get to party with like Leonardo DiCaprio or something if we get like
that would be good utility.
Yeah, that would pay 30 grand for that. I'm not paying 30 grand for that otherwise. Oh my God.
They said do dope things with dope people. Maybe he's one of the dope people. We don't know yet. They have to let us know. But people are. I don't know. That's crazy.
But you won that one. So the final score was actually a tie, 2-2. So we don't get a bragging rights. We'll have to do this again. So stay tuned when we do this again next week, because this is gonna. I mean, this was a great segment. I can't wait to see what else because I can't get a feel for these NFT prices, man. That was the last one, just threw me for a loop. All right, guys. Well, that was a great show. That was a great segment. Thank you for spending some time with us. We go live every day, Monday through Friday. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and join us here tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
We out. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and be sure to tune in tomorrow.